Previously on Comics Plus.
Is there anything you can say about these
It doesn't really tell you anything about it, except that it's an older character. It is older. It's Bruce Wayne in the future.
Okay.
But that's about all.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have?
But at least I'm finally playing the character on camera.
Everybody's dream. Everybody's your dream. That's what I'm sure.
But it's definitely an older.
Okay.
Let it end. Let it all end. This world's not worth saving in any universe.
It'll kill you!
Comics Plus, what is going on? Or actually, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today for part 2 of Crisis on Infinite Earths. My name is Akasan.
Yeah, what's up, Super Stacy's on?
Hey, it's Terry. What's up?
I did it.
Episode 2.
This dude's this my nigga is dead. Pour one for the homie. Like that. So Oliver Queen is dead.
Spoiler.
That sucked. Yeah.
Just
that
in case.
Sucked. Yeah. So this is gonna be Batwoman's episode here, part 2 of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and do you watch Batwoman, DC?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
So
For me, I watch all of them because at one point, stories and characters are going to be interconnected.
I get it.
So even if some episodes may not be as strong as others, I still try.
No, I you know, and I respect that. I would love to have that time to watch them. I can't. That's the thing.
Oh, I cram
Right.
watched the last 2 episodes of every show until 3 this morning.
Wow.
Because I didn't have a chance to watch the past couple weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, brief
That
synopsis
hurt.
of what is the brief synopsis of, because the fans actually did let me know because they knew I was gonna have a problem too. So shout outs to the homie on Instagram who like legit left me a long ass voicemail on my Instagram, and it was really funny.
Oh,
I'm like,
telling
he's like,
you, here's
"Hey, Remo," he's like,
Batgirl.
let me tell you about everything that's happening in Batgirl, and I was just like, okay,
Oh, sorry.
Batwoman.
Batwoman, yeah, Batwoman. Shout outs to I don't know your name. Fahim. Nope, not Fahim. I don't know, but what's the brief
brief
synopsis of what's going on with Batgirl? Like,
So, but is it okay to?
he's gonna need to know. Yeah.
All right. So with Batwoman, not Batgirl.
Hair There you go. Thank you so.
Again, this is first. Before I start talking, I want to thank Nona Prince for all his
Yeah, there you go.
for the Flash.
Thank you.
So,
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
So for the most part, she's trying to stop Alice. Her father was kidnapped and has just come back. Alice is her twin sister, who has an accomplice. That accomplice can basically assume the identity of anybody.
And most importantly, Kathy Kane, right? Katie Kane. What is her name?
Which one?
Who is Batwoman? Kate
Kate.
Kane.
Kane, yeah.
Okay. Kate Kane
Is Bruce Wayne's cousin.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, same as in
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, it's trying to stop that and move on, because both her and her father have come to grips with she's no longer savable. She's been trying to save her the entire season,
Okay.
and she's like, we can't save her.
What is the moral right now? What is her moral compass? I'm talking about Batwoman. Like, what is her character right now? Is she
Her
like
character is-
morally good or morally mixed, or like?
She's morally good, but she's trying to learn from what Bruce did, what worked for him and what didn't. So like Bruce was really good at keeping people at a distance,
Okay.
and that really worked for him, but she can't do that because she feels that she doesn't have enough of experience to deal with that. So she's also dealing with trust. So right now her thing is trust issues, like who can I trust with the secret, who can't I? But the downside is there are some characters that have been like, well, you're
Screwing her over.
you're Batwoman, you're Kate Kane. It's like,
Yeah.
how would they even know that? So,
You know,
but
that's
she
crazy.
had someone. There was someone that came in this last episode that she had a history with, and they kind of did a Martian Manhunter, so to speak,
Okay. Oh,
and got her out of this situation, which was
okay.
good. But right now it's basically a company built a rifle to that could penetrate the bat suit, and the story goes from there.
So is she doubting herself at all?
She was in the beginning. Now she's like,
fully confident.
She's on board, and she's like, I have to do this. I want to save people. I want to do better and be a better person.
And is Luke Fox do they work together?
Yes. So in the storyline, Lucius Fox,
the black guy we saw,
it's Lucius Fox is his dad.
Right.
Lucius Fox is not there.
Right.
Okay.
Batman is not there.
Okay.
Luke is assuming that position. Basically, he's the ward for the building.
Gotcha.
And the Batgate.
Mm-hmm.
And then she comes, she finds it, she ends up trying to take Batman's place, finds that she can't take his place, but she could be her own hero. That part I like about it, because her trying to be Batman is like, just don't do it.
You know what's crazy? I realize now why you can never make a Batman show. Like a live action CW type. It would look like shit. But also, you mentioned like apparently this new Batwoman, she has problems because she connects with people. Bruce is
not
really
a connecting person. Yeah.
That's why the Dark Knight. There's no relationships that Bruce has. I mean, it's the thing with no, not Talia. The fucking Rachel. There we go, Rachel. Right. But aside from that, it's about the Batman versus the Joker.
The mission,
it's all about the mission, and so that's also why I really like Batman Beyond. Is because Terry is
Kevin Conroy.
You know,
he interacts with.
Yeah, he has a girlfriend, the brother.
Oh, you're talking Terry, not Old Man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's funny you mention that because Batman Beyond shows what happens to I would say, ideally the pinnacle, best Batman of our generation.
Yeah.
What happens when he just gets old and isolated.
He's just the mission. That's why, like in Justice League, like he's the most efficient fucking guy in that whole series. Is because I'm Batman, yo. Like,
all right.
But that's something that's something she mentions also. It's like that he is really, people love him as Batman, but people didn't like him as Bruce.
That's a good point too.
Because he was just
stiff an arm and get away from me, y'all.
All right.
Like I'm just
because the closer people got to him, the more attached he become.
Full reaction on Patreon, guys. Who knows what's gonna happen in this crisis? Who knows what other cameos we're gonna get?
The first few episodes that you're not gonna like, but it progressively.
It makes me want to watch Phantasm now.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Because of that relationship and how it's so good, you know.
Remember to bring that up at the end of this episod as well.
I want to be happy, family. You know, his parents. When he's talking to the parents in the grave.
Right. And they're like, "Fuck no."
Yeah, you're gonna be Batman, son.
All right, guys. Full reaction on Patreon. Let's get into this. Your latest reaction, group reaction to Crisis on Infinite Earths. Rest in peace, Oliver Queen. Starts. Yeah, I just got you guys off. Like, hey, remember what just happened? Yeah.
Never thought we'd be pouring one out for Oliver.
We're not gonna wait for Barry.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
That looks so beat up.
Earth 74.
Welcome aboard. My name is Leonard, an interactive artificial consciousness programmed to operate this vessel's critical system.
Snark.
I know who you are.
Always pleased to be a fan, but
beings of the purest will can ultimately
stop you from talking.
It's not working.
Keep talking, dude. Come on. It's a kid. You know? That's what they do. I hate people that do that. They stop and they look at the baby like, can you quiet it? Yeah. It's like, oh yes, let me go hit the off switch
beings
on this little fucking kid.
Will. They are known as paragons.
Paragons.
And you're just dropping this on us now?
Right?
I only recently learned of this.
Yeah, he is. He should be.
How? Oneness of a second Kryptonian, who is said to have suffered a greater loss than most mortal men could endure. Today he stands as the paragon of truth. I'll find him. Is known only as the Bat of the Future.
Seriously, where do you get these names and
the Bat of the Future?
I enlisted the assistant of City Smoke, who earned the wisdom of a second book.
Okay.
Path to find him will lead you to the paragon of courage.
Okay. Who wants to meet Batman?
Okay. See, good line. That was good. That's good.
I want to meet him.
An entire universe wiped from existence, distilled down to a computer graphic.
Lex Luthor?
Gotta say, missing that wow factor.
Wow.
Lex Luthor, kind of a dick, huh?
Yeah, it looks like
I really like Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
No, I think he's doing the voiceover.
I hope you have a massive hangover-style headache for not telling Diggle anything.
What's wrong with you?
She's going crazy.
Get an Excedrin.
All of you.
That's Lex Luthor.
Okay. She had power to transport. Why is she running?
You're not supposed to
It's a nice little lady suit she got on.
About how he brought Sarah and his sister back to life, fusing something called a Lazarus pit.
Oh, yeah.
To be true. I will take whatever life with you I can get.
Because remember, you kind of forget he's supposed to die too.
Yeah.
Or the Flash
One
is
group
supposed to
chat,
die.
now there's paragons, and I'm supposed to be one of them.
Your costume designer's on point. These ladies be looking good.
Hey, Gotham!
Earth 99.
99.
Who the fuck
That's
is
Luke
that?
Fox. Yeah.
Impressive six pack.
Don't be so rude, Luke.
What? Huh?
Don't.
I know that voice.
You'll have to forgive him.
Ha ha ha! That's Kevin Conroy.
What the hell?
Used to having guests.
What is he wearing?
Because that's actually in the books.
Can you sit in that thing? 'Cause you're gonna need to for this.
He's like, okay, I'll take it.
What is it?
Because if you do that, you're not going to say so.
Appeared into thin air.
What
Lex
the
killed him and reached out.
fuck?
He won't stop until we're all dead.
Did he fight Doomsday?
That was a scene from Doomsday, but I think that's Lex killing it.
Okay, okay.
Hey!
We're sure.
Constantine has his own show still.
No. Hey!
They serious about bringing his ass back.
Hey, what movie is that?
That right there
It's
is
from-
Superman Returns.
Ah!
That's Brandon Roth's character.
Really? How about this guy?
We are on Smallville.
That's Smallville.
Okay, look at that.
Lex Luthor is gonna try to kill you. He is.
Lex,
Yeah.
I didn't know the president was in town. Look, I faced a lot of...
Oh shit.
Old friend.
Oh no.
Who are you?
What is going
Which has no
on?
effect on me ever since I gave up my powers.
Hey Clark, the girls want to show you what they made.
I think it's time for you to...
Oh, stop.
Thank you.
Still stronger. What'd the girls make?
A mess. They can't wait for you to see it.
Oh, sounds like a job for us.
This is cute.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys like it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I never watched Smallville, so...
I did. That was
that was good. Especially how he gave up his powers.
Yeah.
That show had so much
Speaking of
drama.
generations, yeah.
I've lost track of how many people I've killed.
What the fuck?
The Bruce I knew had a code.
You take one life,
Oh boy.
then another.
You sound crazy right now.
He sounds like he's the Joker.
I'm giving you the chance to be a hero again. And not just to Gotham. The whole damn universe.
So stand the fuck up. Let's go. Let's do it.
Right? Someone get him some oil.
DW40 and shit.
Lex's last
He
reach
acted
to this
that pretty
earth.
good,
So
though.
He did. No, he
He
did.
did.
He did. But I was fucking livid at that moment.
Just
one.
Anyone else notice that the Daily Planet looks exactly like the
Whoa.
one she's at?
You seem so familiar.
Look at that.
Nice glasses. Oh, thanks. Do you have a second?
Yeah, he's way
Sure.
bigger than you, bro.
For a citizen
The
of
real
Earth.
Superman just showed up.
If you wouldn't mind contacting my assistant, it's about Lex Luthor.
Nice three-piece suit.
How did you say you knew Kate?
He looks jacked.
What the fuck is up with this guy?
That's what I'm, why does fucking Kevin Conroy have his black ass dude shirtless and shit?
Trolling it.
I had to think about it. You are in his house,
right?
I mean, like, oh my god, blood on his card.
Riddler.
Freeze.
You mean trophies?
that soul patch looks rough.
Yo, oh my god, who's the last
Superman? His alter ego, Penley's.
Batman killed these people.
Bruce killed this Earth Superman? You might be the key to saving the multiverse.
It's actually one of the least insane things I've ever
Hey.
Okay.
And you won't do it alone.
What's up?
We won't let him kill you.
I know what my next cosplay is gonna be.
Oh,
no,
this
God.
What's wrong with you, dude? What the fuck is he doing?
Making him evil?
There's only one truth. I serve Lex Luthor.
Yeah, can someone grab Lex?
Yeah, like, just hit him in the back of the head.
Actually, Superman, you're fast. Grab Lex. As soon as he showed up, you should have mopped his ass.
The multiverse needs you, and what about what I need?
Woohoo!
Yeah, they shatter and fucking. Thank you.
Thank you.
God.
Read about it later. Help me with the book.
No, you know what? Just kill him. I'm done. I know we got rules, but like, for real, he should not be living.
He's got something.
They would want your memories of them to lift you up, not drive you to darkness.
Oh, look, it looks different.
Right, I like they kept it canon.
Everything to you.
Seems you little ladies have tied your horse to the wrong
Oh my goodness. Jonah Hex.
It's mine.
Oh, look at that.
I don't care.
Is his eye healed? Something annoying must be coming up because notice Akasan's not here. He's waiting to see what her reaction is going to be. That or he's been dead too long so he can't come back.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We can't trust the monitor.
What?
Did you do?
What's going
Clearly
on?
what you couldn't.
What the heck are you doing?
Little souvenir from the old hometown.
Wow, he's really playing up this evil shit. I thought the Lazarus Pit would have been more grand, by the way.
Guys, Mia's right. This is.
What the fuck? It's just like that? You just put dead folk in there and he comes back? I was dead.
Not just that, but
It shanked his body.
when you bring them
Still
back,
have to get his soul back. That isn't all of it.
soul's not
Yet.
connected.
Okay.
They're-
I knew. Don't be a fool.
Yo! What the heck is going on?
Did he really just...
What the fuck?
That was cheesy. So that
You just kicked
Paragonic Courage is not him, it's Luke.
It's
Dude,
not. It
that
can't
was-
be Luke.
They brought Kevin Conroy to kill his ass.
That's so ridiculous.
He died real crusty too.
Okay, so Batman tried to kill Kara, and now he's dead. We're doomed.
You broke your code. You killed him.
Paragon Batwoman. She had to go there to. Oh, really?
Remember that what I said? Let's talk about something later. This is what I'm talking about.
You are the bat of the future, Kate Kane. You are the paragon.
I was like, yo, these guys really fucking hammed that up.
Terry McGinnis.
Yeah, no, she's not. Get Terry McGinnis.
With all the antimatter in the system, I've lost my magical mojo.
What?
If we can't get Oliver's soul back, he's gonna be a monster forever.
Yeah.
Y'all fucking up. Can we just focus on saving the world?
I need a drink.
I found this in his library.
She
You-
stole
I
it.
know,
He did,
just
Jack.
taking shit. And I just realized she killed Batman. They essentially, he died. What's Luke gonna do?
Indirectly.
Why the fuck was he in the house? They never even answered that question.
Maybe you still can.
Yeah.
But
Maybe I can use the Book of Destiny to bring it back.
Wow.
Who are we bringing back now?
Monitor said that would be really dangerous, Kara. I know what he said.
Man, you guys are doing. You're really messing with the natural world. Like, yeah, this is a comic book show, but like something about death and bringing people back should not be a thing.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
With every death, I steal my mirror strength.
What the fuck is that?
Mine grows ever
Anti-monitor.
stronger. Who am I? I am the anti-monitor.
You look like Spawn.
There is work to be done.
He looks good though.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a Superboy's Superboy Prime's suit.
All
right, so there you have it, folks. That was the part 2 of Crisis on Infinite Earths. My most controversial episode so far, and basically almost, if it wasn't for this little collaboration we have going on, I don't know if I would have finished. I don't know if I would.
Okay.
I was like, I legit was like livid.
They really messing up. They really, I don't want to say messing up. They really like shaking up, like not the status quo, but they're just throwing some ridiculous curveballs out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
She kept the kryptonite because that's what Batman does. He always has kryptonite. So they just
But her thing on her show is she's not Batman. So why is it all of a sudden she's Batman?
Yeah, all of a sudden she got that anxiety where let me have,
yawn.
Let me have a Judas. Wait, what is it called when he has the Batman have the ability to kill everyone? What's his list?
Oh, you're talking about Babel?
Yeah. His protocol. Or whatever.
Yeah. Justice League protocol or whatever. Babel protocol. Yeah. Right. But I mean, that's fine in that sense. So in regards to, like, I was talking about this, I think off camera, but I think just like Oliver's death, I think watching it the first time, it's this really gut-wrenching sort of experience because it's just all coming at you like, yeah, but just no, watching the first time.
Oh.
Watching it again with you guys, it's kind of knowing what happened in this episode. I'm not great with it, but I kind of get what they were going for and striving for, so it's fine. But it still was a bitch-ass way to go out, and depending upon how this ends up. But there's
gonna have to kill his body again because they're not gonna be able to connect the soul.
Right, but there's a certain thing about I think watching something exposed to you for the first time is just this crazy shock treatment to your system, especially if you're not ready for it, sort of thing. And so when I first watched this second episode with knowing Kevin Conroy was going to be on the show because he was in the trailer, and obviously I talked to him in person about Crisis on Infinite Earths, and he told me he was going to be playing an older Batman, but you know, he kind of was alluding to it's going to be different.
Very different.
Yeah, I was
shockingly.
Yeah, shocking, and I was upset. I was really upset, and I think that's more or less because of the fact that I know he's an alternative Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But I also feel like this might be the one time we're ever gonna have Kevin Conroy on as a Batman, and you made him a fucking murderer and shit.
That's
like,
what I was gonna say. Like
that's the part that annoyed me the most.
I think that's most upsetting is that the way you used him. I mean, like. We have a template. Just do Batman Beyond, right? We got fucking Smallville back, and they did Smallville,
right? So that's the mind. That's what. But see, then, however,
to take into account that the actor may actually want to play the opposite of what he's actually known.
Okay,
so it's fun, right?
So
like, it's challenging.
Shout outs to the Red Dread Nation who sent me because they. Like everybody was like, "Yo, Akasan gonna be fucking pissed with this episode."
I can understand that.
They were like, "Yo, I can't wait to see Akasan. He is gonna be fucking livid that they turned Kevin Conroy into a killer." But one fan sent me an article discussing from Nerdist. They interviewed Kevin Conroy, and what he said was that they brought him into the studio, they put him on set, and they just assumed that they were like, "You be you, do what you want to do." And he said that's actually a really bad assumption to make, even though I've been Batman for 25 years. Everybody just assumes that I know what type of Batman I need. Like Mark Hamill is the comic book nerd. He's the one that knows what kind of Joker he wants to do. I usually need direction on what sort of Batman they want me to play.
So they did.
They didn't really have a direction.
They told him just to do it up.
Do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
So wait, did they have the lines?
Yeah.
Well, of course they have. Of course Yeah, well, of course you have lines. Well, lines are basically for guideline.
Right.
Because when you're filming, you're not always going to stick to script. You may actually be ad-libbing something that sounds better or has more weight to it.
But essentially,
just change it up.
He came to sets with this concept. You're going to be an old killer Batman.
Well, not necessarily an old killer Batman. It's just you're going to be portraying an older Batman,
and
so the
or more or less an older, broken Bruce Wayne, because he hasn't been Batman for a long time.
Right. So him talking about death and killing things of nature could be things that he put in later, or that they had him put in later, because of what his character eventually evolved to while shooting the scenes.
I can see how that's
now. From which
was weird, but also entertaining.
But what Kevin Conroy said was that his inspiration for this particular Bruce Wayne that he was playing was Mask of the Phantasm. Actually, you mentioned it. Right?
Yeah.
You mentioned her earlier.
Yeah.
The point where Bruce is at the graveyard asking his parents for happiness, like, please just let me. I didn't expect to be happy, and then Bruce Wayne finds some form of love, right?
Yes.
Through Rebecca or Rachel or whatever.
Andrea.
Thank you.
Beaumont.
Yeah, no, you're right, Andrea Beaumont. And what he thought was, okay, what if Andrea wasn't around, actually? And what if she didn't show up at that tombstone moment? And what if Bruce Wayne never found love? That's what he based his Bruce Wayne off of that version of Bruce Wayne, the Mask of the Phantasm, that never actually found love or happiness, and just continued to go down this cold, untrusting, dark path. And now watching it the second time with you guys and hearing DC's explanation on Ruby Rose, Ruby Rose's characters and where she is in terms of having trust issues. Now it all sort of blends together as because this is,
and that's why the monitor sent her there so she can see a reflection.
Because this is a Batwoman episode. You know, it has to be Batwoman centric, but that's what Kevin Conroy was. So I'm kind of okay with it, but now the only other thing is because obviously a lot of the ongoing battle of Snyder, Zack Snyder, BVS, and Batfleck, it all came back last night, and all the films. How's it feel, motherfucker? Your favorite Batman is now a killer. Well, no.
Eric 99
Eric
Batman.
99
right.
Batman.
But no, it's not even that. Like, Alex from High Top and a lot of other people jumped on it. It's like, look, you missed the point. The whole point was, if anything, Kevin Conroy's Batman was actually kind of a slap to Snyder's vision.
Because look at what happens.
Well, not just that. This is a Batman that this is literally saying killing is wrong and shows what happens after killing, whereas Snyder's Batman showed that you can be redeemed somehow from it and it's okay. Like, you look, okay, I'm not going to kill you, Superman, but I'm going to kill all these dudes in the warehouse after that. And like, where Snyder portrayed still killing as good, our last option, and glorified it, this Kevin Conroy version of Earth 99 Batman still showed that it was bad, and like you said, look what happened. He gave up on the world, he gave up on himself, he was basically begging Ruby Rose and Kara to kill him.
Down,
he was like, yes, end it all. It was sad that might be the only live action version of Kevin Conroy we're ever gonna get, but you know, I get what they're going for in this context.
Put him in the live.
I would have changed,
so come out even crazier than he was at this
that
one.
Or maybe it'll fix him.
I would have changed the aesthetic. I don't know what's up with the black guy in the you know.
That's Luke Fox. That's Lucius Fox's son. He's in
Batwoman, so they had
Batwoman.
I get it, but like that's just so weird having him in the place with the shirt off.
It's with the shirt open.
That's really it. Like he's just walking around the house.
He's always in a 2 to 3 piece
right.
suit,
and
cardigan or whatever. So he's like always like stitched up. So I guess this is the actor's time to be like, look, I want to be free.
Yeah.
So
I just want to be jungle
breezy throughout the
But
entire
I would have changed the suit though. Don't you think that was bad looking?
No.
What?
Because
I know. Wait. have Luke change the suit?
No,
Kevin Conroy changed the suit?
Nah, because the thing is, so you know how
It just looked a little
so this hold on,
but
so
he's supposed to,
right?
Because that's how he is in the comic book.
Yeah,
when
hold
his
on.
body is broken, he's
And
actually wearing that.
The whole thing is this was an homage to another story called a DC story called Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
So
which is the
hold on, I got you.
Which is the Brandon Roth
Kingdom Come
version
Batman
of,
Superman.
Superman that you saw here.
Okay.
Where it's got black instead of yellow.
So
And
it's comic book accurate.
Yeah. So you can actually see.
Okay.
So there's what Brandon Routh was wearing, and then this is what Bruce was
And
wearing.
he put him there in this too.
I don't know if they ever explained it in this comic. I don't think that just was just a millions of years of wear and tear.
That's crazy.
And what they did was instead of having them both in the same Earth,
right?
For the TV show, they separated them.
Never mind. I will take back the comment because that looks exactly like
Right.
we saw.
That's what they were trying to go for, like that.
On.
But
I'm looking at him like it looks like parts of the Monitor's costume,
right?
Refurbished. That's smart.
Okay.
Saves time.
I get what you're saying.
The collar.
Right, which is actually funny because the Anti-Monitor suit looks very similar to the comics, but looks more or less what Superboy Prime was wearing.
Yeah,
which is really dope.
Superboy Prime comes on the show at any point
that would
in
be
time
great, right?
in that suit.
That would be.
I will forgive
Imagine
all
if
these
it's
L's that they've had so far.
so you're not feeling the crossover.
Well, it's not that I'm not feeling the crossover. The crossover is actually really good, and it's very intense for the most part. But there are some parts of them like not quite sure. I need to see where this ends.
Okay,
that's a good point.
And it's like having Ruby Rose's character be the paragon of Kurt. Okay, that's fine, not a big deal. My only issue is, okay, if you set yourself out to not go down the same path as Bruce, because you use him as a guideline, which is like what he did works for him, but not for me, then why would you take kryptonite?
Yeah.
When you have actually looked at Kara as, well, an equal or someone that you look up to because of how they are.
What I thought was odd was why didn't Kara feel the kryptonite so
because
close
it's
to her?
covered.
But only I thought.
So depending on the material that it's made, if it's covered, they can't feel it. When it's open and exposed, you can.
I
So
thought it
it's
was only lead.
It doesn't
Lead
necessarily
casing.
have to be only lead, but if that's made out of lead, they can't feel it, let alone see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And obviously, Kara's not going to look for anything because she respects Ruby Rose.
Right.
But
privacy.
but what he's saying is like, okay, she has it and it's in her pocket. How
Yeah.
come
Right.
Kara doesn't feel
Right.
it?
Mhm.
Because it's covered in that casing.
Okay.
When Kara walks
No,
away,
but I think she just took it out of her pocket.
Yeah, she took
it
it out
was
of
in
her
a casing.
She took it out of her pocket. You know, when you saw Kevin Conroy's
Right.
wrist and he had the dial here,
That's a good point.
that casing she took.
Oh,
when
okay,
she took it out of
okay,
her pocket and Kara walks away, she slides it
Ah,
open. And you
okay, I didn't see that
it's
part. I only saw her
kryptonite.
holding it in her hand. Yeah.
The other reason they did that because on Smallville Earth, Luthor's kryptonite got thrown in the field, right?
Yeah.
So you don't see any more kryptonite at all.
Yeah.
MacGuffin. Therefore, when they went to another Earth, they had another piece of kryptonite.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, all the kryptonite is gone. Earth 38, Kara's planet, it all blew up.
Okay.
What did you? Both of you guys have watched Smallville, right?
Yes.
All right. So what did you guys?
Both
Because
sides.
for me, so it's funny. We were talking about the Kevin Conroy situation, but at the same time, there's a shitload of fans that are really mad at this particular portrayal of because I guess the idea that he gave up his powers
It's
doesn't.
the same thing that happens with Christopher Reeve's Superman in the original Superman story. So, what's that?
So you're okay.
I'm totally okay with it, especially like if they're mad at that and they're like I don't know.
The
I'm
people
not a
that are
fan of the
mad,
ending of the show.
No one's a fan of the
So
ending of the
just
show.
seeing this is better than what I saw
Years ago.
Yeah, like
But
that's just.
I think that the reason people are upset because they were hoping that at least once they would see your boy in a costume. He's never been in a Superman costume.
Yeah, and that's probably.
And it's so super annoying. You allude to it through what, 10 years?
Yeah.
And it's like the blue streak and all this and he gets a leather coat.
No, but the ending wasn't he flying in the CG suit?
No. So that's the thing. You
Like,
saw blurs of him in CG.
when the plane was going and he was flying, right?
But you never
But it's
saw.
always a blur.
Yeah.
Oh,
you never
okay.
saw Tom Welling in the
The
suit
suit.
like you've seen Brandon Ralph or this new Superman for the CW. And so that's why when I saw him on screen, I was like, oh, he's not going to wear this suit.
Right.
He's going to maintain that same standard. And I'm not going to hate it because
because it's staying with what they had before.
Yeah.
But that's also why the people that are upset because they have waited years for that opportunity, and
10 seasons,
and they've talked about, okay, we're gonna do it, and then never do it. The closer they get to it is a leather jacket or a blurry image.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's all for naught because it's not like the actor did a bad job. I mean, he had 2 damn seasons.
So do you think that
they should have put him in the suit at least once?
Yeah.
For fan service, possibly yes.
It would have been a big.
It would have been. It would have been like.
It would have
so
been a
cool.
big pop.
And when he's talking about Lex Luthor, well, the reason why he doesn't recognize that Lex because his Lex is the one
Michael
that's
Rosenbaum,
present. And at the end of it, he couldn't make the schedule, so that's why he wasn't present for that scene. At the last minute is what was being said. Now, if that holds in later on, we don't know yet.
I actually heard that they
and they didn't want to pay.
No, yeah, Michael Rosenbaum actually publicly came out and said like
I heard that.
Like they didn't really know what they were gonna do with them. They didn't have a script. They didn't have anything. But you need to commit to something right now.
And that's
like, why not?
And that's probably why we got the Batman we got. Because I mean, it sounds like they're contacting people to kind of all right, what are we gonna do for the story? You know, like make it up as we go along. And so that's why we got a Batman that
Same
killed.
thing. Right. Same thing with Burt Ward. Same thing with it was just like, yo, we might have a cameo for you. We might have something big with you. I think the only one that they really focused on the most was on what's Smallville's name?
Tom Welling.
Tom Welling. I never watched Smallville. I don't give. Yeah,
but
that's one of the things.
I could see that. I mean, it was one of their most popular shows. That kind of led into what we have
as
now.
So
why not give him some airtime?
Also, I don't know.
So Rosenbaum coming back. Okay, we don't have anything set. You know, I don't know the exact details, and that's fine. But if they gave him the opportunity to do this, okay, sure.
But at the same time,
But I also understand if he has other obligations, he can't commit to something without knowing details.
Now, again, at the same time, damn, I can't remember. Colton Hayes, Red Arrow, Arsenal. He said that he wasn't even invited to the crossover or coming back for Arrow or anything like that, and he showed up in the season. So anything is possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a question. Well, first off, I was thinking Ruby Rose Batwoman is the Light of Zartha. Deep cut.
Is what?
The Light of Zartha.
Oh.
It's from Men in Black 2.
Oh.
He looks at her. He's like, "You're the Light of Zartha, baby." Something like that.
I get it. Okay. The Chosen One and shit.
Anyways,
like our Terminator,
How do you feel about them bringing back Ollie? Because I'm not a fan of Resurrection. I know they do it in comic books all the time, but that particular...
I'm not a fan of the story.
The concept of them dragging his body and throwing it in some bullshit pit, that's me triggered.
I remember actually Justice League, he was really mad about that.
Yeah, like, come on, that's disrespect.
I don't have a problem with
at least he's a body
character being brought back, and in this particular universe, the Lazarus Pits are kind of like your last ditch effort because they have used other things or say we can't use those anymore.
Okay.
And that's something that's been consistent in the Arrowverse since the beginning. Now, bringing him back, am I happy about it? No, for the simple fact that I feel like they're going to end up having to kill his character off, and or they bring him back, and the last chance he gets to say something to whatever characters he hasn't said anything to, and then he'll die.
So it's like, die again. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it's just a waste of story time. Like,
for me, it feels similar to people who are upset with Marvel when Spider-Man dies, and then it's like, oh, well, his movie's coming out just after, what was it?
Yeah.
Infinity War?
Yeah.
Or Endgame. And it's like, so his death didn't mean anything.
That's true.
It was too soon. The timing of the movies when they came out, it was almost like a spoiler. Oh, his character actually survives.
They were filming and everything.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I guess for me, I thought he
dead. Dies in Infinity War.
No, and I know what you're saying, but I don't see the correlation because
people were like, hey, I was heartbroken that his character died, but I was dealing with it. And then when they find out he was brought back, it's like, well, then it didn't mean anything. The scene was.
Well, I mean, but
so
it still did.
Ollie dying in the first season, or excuse me, the first episode of Crossover, doesn't have as much weight right now.
Yeah, we were just played. We saw him die, and now we're kind of like, oh, but they're going to try to bring him back.
But also at the same time, you guys have to remember that you just jumped into the next episode. So for that 24-hour period, people were legit in a bad mood about all of it. They felt it for that moment.
Which is why I think
That's a long
it would have
time.
been better
to
not bring him back.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep us in that.
I agree.
And if you were going to bring him back
Exactly.
for anything,
Right.
wait till the third
second
episode
half.
or the second half.
Yeah, that would have
right
been great.
now, it's too close.
Yeah.
I generally think
it's
that
like killing Han Solo and then, hey, the Solo movie's coming up next week. It's too soon.
okay. I feel like it's just a matter of like they. For a crossover, this was an unnecessary side plot. Who knows where it's going to build up? We still have 3 more episodes to go. Yeah,
he hasn't.
We still have 3 more parts to go.
He kind of talked with Thea, so that's fine.
Right.
It's not his mom. No, because he and all that kind of stuff that happened.
Right.
There. I don't know. Something's off. I'm okay with almost everything that happened in the episode, but that has me with questions now.
So
not in a good way.
So
It's
my issue at this point in time with the crossover is they're having all these people cameo, but they're actually not recruiting them. That's the thing that kind of annoys me.
They got Superman.
They recruited Superman.
Oh, they did.
They recruited Superman,
but that's
and
easy.
they only brought
He's on the
Raleigh
payroll.
back because they need.
That's right.
They need cannon fodder.
Who?
Cannon fodder.
No.
Or Heatwave.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that is true. They did. Like, okay, cool. Is he dead in the current Legends storyline?
I don't want to say anything for anyone who watches the show may not be up to date.
Legends. Okay.
Yeah. But for the most part, we'll say for his character coming from that Earth, they need extra help. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Because
I dropped this season. It was just
being home babysitting.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
Again, that's the second strike.
So okay, here's the last thing, and here's the last.
You know exactly what I'm talking about because you were talking about it earlier.
Here's the last point that we were kind of talking about off camera after the first episode was the thing about there aren't really a lot of black people on this show.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. There's a lot of black folks in these CW shows, but for this crossover, they're like really in the background. Or just without their shirt on, looking jungle-like.
And the reason this came up off camera is because a fan had mentioned it to me and said that, hey, look, how come when it comes to the big battle scenes, you don't see any people of color and things of that nature helping out, but they're there with the small skirmishes? And it's like, that can't be possible. And then we saw the first episode of the crossover, and it's like, now I can't unsee that. And one, I don't like to think that way anyway. And that's one of the reasons why I watch CW, because of its diversity. But saying that, and then seeing that episode is like, oh, maybe. And then it's like Martian Manhunter wasn't there, Diggle's not there, all these other characters. But, like he mentioned, for this point in time, those characters aren't pertinent for this section of the story, so therefore they're not used.
Now the thing but here's the thing you mentioned that made me start. Here's what you mentioned that made me start thinking about this. It's the fact that with the CW, it should be a norm. And my thing, just to add to that conversation, is the fact that female empowerment and female inclusion has been a really big trait with the CW storylines, and
I'm okay with that.
Now this is my thing about this is kind of similar and different.
Balancing
Is about the thing is like when you start making the inclusion a little bit more, sometimes there can be a little bit more of a turnoff when it feels forced, basically. And so with now we've just watched Supergirl and Batwoman, and we have these what do they call them?
Paragons?
Paragons. And it's kind of like these 2 episodes, and I'm like, do I really care about these characters enough for them to be that important like that? You know what I mean? It's kind of like it almost seems like in both of these shows, and I understand it's both Supergirl.
That you're really not attached to are the
focal points,
and the only ones doing anything are women actually in this show. Iris, Lois Lane were like the 2 things. So yeah, we saw the men ridiculously fighting, but the ones that actually were changing stuff were just women only. Yeah. Supergirl, Ruby Rose beating the shit out of old man Kevin Conroy, which is interesting to see. That is like you have basically all the women being in the forefront, which is not a bad thing, but at the same time, you saw Sarah Lance and Mia beating the shit out of Jonah Hex, cutting his ass up. Right. So it's kind of like, and again, I understand it's a Supergirl and it's a Batwoman show, so it's going to be central focused on that. Even taking shots. Barry wasn't even in. I don't know what Barry was doing in this episode. He wasn't even in those scenes. The only people taking shots were all women, like that. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So that's the kind of thing I'm kind of talking about. It's like when you start to have more of an inclusion, it seems like sometimes they'll go overboard too much.
Well, I mean, when you have these characters that are on the shows anyway, to have them there, background support, whatever, while they're doing it during their normal show, well, the episodes are geared for that show, Batwoman, Supergirl. Okay, so at a time of crisis, you need all the help you can get. You're babysitting?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That felt, I don't know. I understand what they were doing, and I understand that logistically, while you're filming, this character may be at a different point in time, place in time, doing something else, where the timeline is supposed to be at the same time, but we don't see that right now. Okay, fine. But on the flip side, Firestorm, Wally West, John Diggle, Martian Manhunter, these characters who were on the shows, prominent characters, they're just like nowhere to be found.
Wally? What happened to his character?
Wally went to find himself.
Yeah.
So, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't. No, actually, he might be dead.
Right, that's true. He might be on Earth too.
Oh, he's on Earth too. Oh.
But him and Jesse broke up. So
but he tried to reconcile it by going back.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Okay.
But even if we don't include him, it's like there are other characters. They don't just have to be black. They can be from any other culture. But in general, all these characters that are usually on the shows were non-existent.
Right.
So it felt weird.
So now here's the big one, DC Sun, because this is the one that people bring up a lot with Supergirl.
Okay,
is the fact that
Supergirl seeming to be stronger than Superman?
All the time.
All the time.
Tyler Hutchinson's Superman only exists to get fucking beat down by Supergirl and or other Supermen sometimes.
I actually hear that quite a bit.
So what is your opinion on, because they even have little nods like that, like even the first episode where they're doing the laser eye.
And then he bows out first?
Right. And then he makes a comment. He's like, you always have to one-up me. And he's like, how can you stay so strong after everything you lost? Like, it's like, goddamn, Superman. Like, so what is your, like, as a Superman fan? Like,
as a Superman fan, it is slightly annoying because it feels like going over on everything. Okay, say in this episode, you know, she one-ups him because of this. But in this episode, he one-ups her in this. Okay, fine. That little back and forth also makes the writing interesting. But looking at it in this case, the way that they would write that off, because I'm really reading into this, is, okay, he was off on Argo, and he didn't have his powers. So he wasn't fully charged when it came time to do that. It's literally what they would say if someone complains.
Okay.
That would be the PC way of getting over it.
Yeah.
So you're okay with what they're doing?
I've not noticed, but now I'm going to pay attention more.
It's not that I care, but it's not like I don't care.
Okay.
I like Supergirl, and I like Melissa's character. But, you know, in comic books or in the animation, it's like she was out there in space for X amount of years. Her body became more dense and absorbed more, so she could process it faster. Yellow sun, right? Okay, fine. So it could make her stronger than him in a certain instance, but he has actually been living under it. So they should actually be balancing each other out, as opposed to she's stronger, he's stronger.
Yeah.
For some writers, but it does seem like you weak as shit. Is how it's coming off, and it is a little weird. I mean, it's funny to see him standing next to Brandon Roth, and it's like, oh, look, it's Superboy and Superman.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with that because they're also different Earths, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And what they've done with that,
wow,
is
he really does look. If you put he does look like Superboy Prime if you put it on that anti-monitor suit on Tyler. Yeah.
Which I think, if they had introduced that version of him for this for it, it would fit perfectly. Because just body type, he's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
When he was cast in Teen Wolf, he was much bigger, like Brandon Routh. He's not as tall, but he was like jacked.
Wow, okay.
He slimmed down, and it's fine, whatever. Just it's noticeable.
All right, well, now you understand why
people were like,
no, the fans
what
were like,
the hell?
yo, man, I can't wait to see Black Wave tear apart this fucking shitty ass crossover.
Yeah. So like this
Damn.
the first episode I felt was stronger.
Yeah, definitely.
The second episode wasn't bad, but it didn't hold up quite as strongly as the first.
But do you also think, well, it's hard.
But
See, for me,
but I also look at it as it's a building point, it's a
Right.
step. So it's not like it's a weak episode. It's just it's moving.
Do you feel like, because for me, I think it was a somewhat of amount of expectation versus the reality. Like, because I knew Kevin Conroy he was advertising, he's like, my episode's coming up, check out this episode. And other stars have said the same thing about the next part.
Yeah.
There's an expectation I already had about old man Bruce Wayne the way I envisioned it. And for them to just fucking dick me like that and give me, like I said, I understand why.
Sorry.
Yo, it was like, yo, they're like, hey, Akasan, we heard you don't like Snyder Batman. Guess what we're gonna do with Kevin Conroy? Like that. But for you guys not knowing,
I stayed away from.
For not knowing,
clips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. A few little annoyances. Some fans sending me screenshots. And, you see this character? He's got this. I was like, I don't want to see that. I want to watch it, enjoy it, and then talk about it afterwards. Don't send me that shit beforehand. Excuse me. And that happens a lot. You know exactly who I'm talking about because he probably sends you the same thing. And he's cool. He's cool and everything. He's like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see on-set photos of anything.
That is true.
I'd rather see it when it comes out.
Please don't send on-set stuff. That's the hard one.
I can care less.
Yeah.
The official stuff I'm fine with because I'm gonna find out about it regardless.
Once it's been released, you can send me a catalog of it. I'm cool with that.
No, because then you would have known about the Kevin Conroy and Brandon Roth.
No. Once it's been released,
the episode,
or the movie, I don't care. Before that, I have no interest whatsoever because if anything, it does the opposite. I lose interest in seeing it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I want to be surprised at everything.
All right, guys.
This episode was interesting. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is the next episode. Is the last episode of the Crisis of this year.
And Terry next year is going to do the Luke Fox version from Earth 99.
I'm training again.
Just for you.
Shit, we could do that right now. Next episode, you're going to be a shirt off like, what y'all niggas want, man?
He's like, nah.
He legit came out like, y'all the bitches I ordered tonight? Like, yeah, shit. Like, he looked like he was ready for that, and he was like,
he didn't even say anything.
He was like, hell
lines?
yeah. No, he was like,
he had lines.
Okay. Yeah, he was like, damn, you two snow bunnies are looking fine as fuck. Like that.
Well, he was about to turn around to Bruce and be like, yo, you ordered Domino's?
Yeah. Hey, yo, Bruce, you ordered some bitches? Like that. Anyways, guys, Black Wave, we out. Till next episode. Peace.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out the latest reaction review of Crisis on Infinite Earths. If you like that and you want to see more during this 1 month break, make sure to hit that notification button and subscribe as I take you behind the scenes at all the fun-filled locations in Vancouver, Canada. That's where they film Arrow, Flash, all those things. I saw a lot of cool stuff and I think you're going to like what I have to show you. Okay, see you then.